Welcome to Indie Break, the show that breaks down independent artists' careers, the moves they made, and why they made those moves. Boom! Welcome back to another episode of Indie Break. It's your boy Futuristic, and today I got my guy Ill Nikki. What it do?
Oh man, we here. We're at the Sheesh House.
We're at the Sheesh House. We're at the
Very
Sheesh
happy
House.
to be
We're
here.
at the Indie House, whatever you want to call it.
Drinking Zachary
We
daiquiris,
are
baby.
double cupped up with the Zachary daiquiris.
Salud.
Cheers, my boy.
Cheers.
If you guys have not heard of Ill Nikki, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Man, I'm an artist, a jack of all trades like yourself. I aspire to be to that next level. I own a studio called Studio 403 in LA. I got my label called the Ill Movement.
Hard.
And I'm an artist, and I'm just doing my thing. I'm from Boston. I grew up in the Bay Area, and now and then I went to San Diego. I live in LA, and I'm just working.
Hard.
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
so you said you grew up in Boston, but
Yes.
you're from the Bay. So what does
Yeah.
that mean?
No, I mean I'm born in Boston.
Born in Boston.
Yeah.
How long did you live in Boston?
10 years.
10 years, okay.
And then
boom, at the ripe old age of 10, you moved to the Bay.
Moved to the Bay.
Started going dumb.
Went to high school. Started going dummy.
Okay.
And then moved to San Diego. That's where I decided to.
San Diego's hard. Love
San Diego's dope.
Yeah.
And it was really where I decided to do music. It's like I fell into a group of people that were artists and they were doing their thing. I always was writing music at a young age, but this is where I decided to say, I'm gonna really chase after those goals.
Take it seriously.
Yeah. And so I met my team, built my little label thing, got my LLC open,
Hard.
and just started doing my thing. Started getting traction there, and then end of 2018 moved to LA, and then opened the studio in 2019.
Okay, so how old were you when you moved to San Diego and when you started taking this seriously?
When I moved to San Diego, I was 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay, so young buck out on the scene.
Young buck out on the scene.
19 years old. You've been writing for a little bit, but never really taking it too serious. Moved to San Diego, met some people. When you lived in San Diego, what were you doing there before or even during? Like you had a regular job, I'm sure, to support yourself?
Yeah, both my brothers did music. Everyone was both my brothers were entrepreneurs.
Okay.
From an early age.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, and when I was 11, my brother Aaron, which is crazy full circle, he was always been a builder. He's always been really hands-on.
Okay.
And so he wanted to, a lot of people in his high school were doing music and stuff. And so he basically came back to the house and in my room built a little makeshift studio.
Hard.
And it had just plywood with the typical,
like a booth.
Yeah, a little booth with the typical egg cartons and all that stuff, and just real rudimental equipment, but it did the job. And I started taking that in, and then eventually when they moved to San Diego, my brother Aaron moved to San Diego.
Okay.
We were all just hospitality guys, just restaurant. My father's in the restaurant business.
Okay.
So we were just that's what we did, but we all wanted to do something that we owned. And so full circle, my brother Aaron ended up starting a reclaimed wood business called Sons of Salvage.
Okay.
It's building, and he does amazing with it. And I'm, still doing my artist music. So yeah.
Hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So move to San Diego, start making music, taking it seriously. You build this stuff. How long are you still? Are you at this point? You're working. What's the grind like to be working your job, making music?
Yeah,
supporting yourself. What's that grind like in that time?
That grind is constant. I mean, I was living in, place to place, but living in little apartments with 10, 11, 12 dudes. Woo! And yeah, but it was
everybody
amazing.
with the same dream, right? Just trying to support
everyone
themselves.
with the common goal. The amazing thing was I resonated with a lot of my group of friends. They believed in me early on. Okay. So I kind of became the person that everyone championed. And
that's dope.
That was really dope to be able to feel that, to be that person, because I had so much support everywhere I went. So, even though I wasn't, technically going mainstream at the time, I was I had any venue I would go to, I was pulling up with 25 people that were just Ill Nikki.
Yeah, they just supported everything that you did and gassed you up, hyped you up, which always looks good.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really underestimated.
It really is.
Something really big about creating a buzz in your scene is having that entourage. If you can pull up to an event and have It's not even that many people. 25 people, 20 people. If you can pull up in those 25 people can dominate a show.
Imagine.
They can come to a show and they can literally dominate it. So having that support system behind you, how do you build that? Is that just from being a good person and being talented? Or like, what things did you do to make these people really believe in you and love you and support you?
I think it's good to have like a purpose with the whole thing.
Okay.
Because when you're doing your artist thing, like I think it's the thing that usually happens is, oh, I want to be an artist and I'm put me on type thing. That kind of energy.
Right.
But I think
which doesn't have a purpose technically, right?
Well, it doesn't really have a purpose.
I want to be famous. I want to be rich. I want to make it.
Everyone wants to make it.
Right.
Everyone wants to make money. Everyone wants to have a stable life.
But there's more to it.
But there's more to it. And I think that if you can be one of two things, if you could be the soundtrack to your friend's life, to your friends' lives, I think that's huge. And so many times I think when you're in a position in your life, you're thinking that I have to make music that sounds like this. But I think if you can make music that is something that's going to resonate with the people right next to you, you're going to jack them up. And you're going to be like, they're going to get juiced up and they're going to go in their car and they're going to listen to your shit and they're going to like really feel that deep like purpose in it.
That's a fact. Well, and if you're living with 11 dudes, it's naturally going to be their soundtrack to their life because they're hearing you create it. Right? I think somebody who does a really good job of that is Mike Stud.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, fucking Mike gets a mullet. Everybody gets a mullet.
Right.
Mike wears a crop top. Everybody wears a crop top. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I don't know how familiar you are with him. But
I opened for him and we stole a lot of his liquor. And I want to just say a public apology to Mike Stud.
You know what I'm saying? He's just Mike now, but Mike Stud.
Shout out to Mike. I'm a big fan. We do a lot of work with Huey Mack at my studio.
Oh, Huey Mack's the shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Huey Mack.
Yeah.
But we accidentally stole 9 bottles of Ciroc from Mike, and I apologize, and I owe you. I'll get you back.
Shout out my guy Mike. I see that very much so with him, where his music has been the soundtrack to people's lives as they've grown up, gone through things. With each chapter he drops, it's like the people are living to it, and I think that's a very huge thing. And when I'm talking to artists, I actually say that same sentence. It's like, how can you be the soundtrack to somebody's life?
That's amazing.
So it's really dope that that's kind of how your support system was built.
Yeah.
Speaking of that support system, you do a lot of work with a few people now, right? Where it's like you kind of have an in-house team.
Yes.
You have walk me through that. You have Avi.
Yeah.
You have
one of my best friends sitting over there, Avi. He actually, and it's because leading into that is his music was the soundtrack to my life.
Hard.
And he was a guy that was from. He was from Roanoke Park, but very close to where I grew up. Okay. And I didn't have a lot of people from
in the Bay.
Yeah, in the Bay.
Gotcha.
I didn't have a lot of people in my circle that had made it. You know, and he was the first person that kind of went viral and was blowing up on Team Backpack, and he was just
Backpack.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so he was doing incredible things, and I had friends of friends, and like he was from a similar neighborhood, so it was like if he could do it, I could do it type stuff. But all the music he was making, it made me feel like I could do that too. And so the full circle thing that's so amazing is that. Actually, I just posted it the other day. I sent it to him. I tried out for Team Backpack like 8 years ago, and he was a judge there.
Hard.
And
did he pick you?
No.
Wow, what a dick!
Fucking asshole, huh?
What a dick!
No, yeah, I know.
Avi is a dick.
Right.
Goodness gracious!
Right. Can we get like a soundbite right here that goes, "Oh"?
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. So you go to Team Backpack. Your asshole friend Avi does not select you to be a member of a cipher on Team Backpack,
right?
Which, you were devastated? You were hurt?
No, not at all.
Not at all. You didn't. No. You didn't care at all.
I don't remember. I think I didn't.
So it must not have been that traumatic of an experience. How many experiences have you had where you go out for something, you try super hard, and it doesn't fucking work?
I'll tell you the worst moment of my life.
Ooh, love it.
So probably, God, I've had some bad ones, but I'm like the right personality for this.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm really unaffected by a lot of things.
That's a good trait to have.
I forget quickly. It's not that I'm affected in the moment, but I forget
until your girl starts yelling at you. This is a great trait.
I'm talking about music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about all that shit. That shit sucks. But on some like music stuff, if something happens to me, I'm like, damn, this sucks. But okay, so South by Southwest. 2017.
Okay.
So still underdeveloped and like, you know, just like hadn't really had found myself.
You don't got your wings yet.
I don't really have my wings yet.
Yeah.
But I'm have like a little fan base growing, and I've got my legs growing in San Diego. So I'm starting to think I'm kind of some hot shit.
Right.
So I go to South by Southwest, and they get me set up on like a Sway in the Morning thing. But it was kind of like a thing.
Showcase.
It wasn't like where you go on the interview. It was more like a showcase.
Yeah.
So I was so tired, and I was like, I had been doing a writing thing in Dallas the whole week, so I was so exhausted. And we drove all night. We get to Austin. I go at 5 a.m. We're waiting in line, and finally 6 a.m. I'm going and doing my shit on a stage like this Sway in the Morning.
Got you. There's an audience there.
There's an audience there.
Okay, at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
People are already out. Okay.
And I just fumbled the ball. I fumbled, and I just stuttered. Like right when I picked up the mic, I didn't know what I was gonna freestyle, and then I went with like a verse that I was like, oh, I can't freestyle right now. My head's too dead.
Right.
So I go with like a verse that I thought was gonna work to the beat, and I started into it. And before I could even start my verse, the whole crowd was like, boo! And I got booed off the stage, and I felt such a loser. Damn. And I was like, oh my God.
Booed off the stage. You literally walked off still getting boos.
Yeah, and Sway was just like, because he was like, where, you know, he's from Oakland.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm from Oakland, blah blah blah. And so he was like trying to root for me. He was like, damn, but like he from Oakland. I remember the whole thing. And he was like, damn. He's like, sorry, bro. I tried to.
Yeah, tried to turn the crowd around,
but they booed you. So now I'm distraught.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I got to rebound from this.
Yeah.
I go back to the hotel. I sleep for a little bit, and I wake up and I'm like, I got a show tonight. It's time to get ready. I'm gonna get out.
Another South by show.
I have an actual show.
Oh, an actual
something
show.
That we're like, I'm booked to do a show. And right before we get to the event, I stopped by this other show where my friend was filming the event.
Okay.
And he was filming it for Nappy Roots.
Okay, hard.
So Nappy Roots comes backstage, and I just strike up a conversation, and we just hit it off.
Right.
And Nate from Nappy Roots is like, I like you, bro. He's like, you're performing later? I go, yeah. He goes, I'm gonna come to your show. I go, really? Yeah, I'm gonna be there. And so I go to the Cornerstone, or it was the Corners. I forget the name of the event, but it was like this really big open venue down in Austin.
Yeah.
And I pick up the mic, and I'm just about to start, and I see fucking all the Nappy Roots pull up.
Hard.
And just there, and I killed it.
Hell yeah. And redemption right away.
And it was funny that you say redemption, because DJ VIP, who was at the Sway thing, and then he was at there, he went on Instagram, and he was just like redemption. And anyway, Sway ended up commenting on it like, that's great to see.
Hell yeah.
So it was like, you can always come back from it.
And there's a lot, that whole segment right there, there's so much that goes into it. People don't realize the amount of shit that you may be doing in a week time span, or in a day, or anything like that. So you go through this day and you live this life, or you go through this week where you're completely exhausted, you're completely drained, you're completely on your last leg, and then it's like, boom, you're asked to do some shit at 6 a.m, right?
Right.
And no matter what, however you perform is how you perform.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
And you get all this judgment, you might get all this criticism, but no matter what, you have to put on your big boy pants and you got to go crazy no matter what. So I think that's the thing, is like, never go into a situation unprepared. First of all,
exactly.
That's a big lesson that probably you learned that day.
Yes.
The other lesson you learned is no matter what happens, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you jump back up and you go crazy.
You're a fighter, bro.
You're a fighter. You got to go for redemption. And there's going to be times where shit doesn't go how you think it's going to go. There's going to be times where you get booed. People don't like you. There's criticism. There's all these different things. But no matter what, you have to go out there and you have to prove that you are who you say you are. Exactly. That you're meant to be in this position. And so
who we thought they were.
You went out and you did that.
Right.
So
I love it.
Moving forward, moving past that.
Yeah.
Right. You had a show that night. You did South by Southwest. These are all things that like every artist kind of dreams of doing it. And it's like stepping stones, right? Like Team Backpack was a stepping stone for I think everybody who got on the platform.
Exactly.
South by Southwest is a stepping stone. You living in San Diego and having that peer group is a stepping stone.
Yeah.
At what point do you establish I'm Ill Nikki.
Yeah.
This is what the fuck I do. This is my brand.
Yeah.
This is my music, and this is how I'm moving.
Right.
At what point did that get established, or is it established?
That's always growing.
Okay.
I have so much work to do, and I am still growing in that. But the mindset, when the mindset happened, I said, I don't give a fuck. Like I am. It was a couple of things, but.
I am Shakespeare
in the flesh. But what we were talking about earlier when I was talking about the team backpack thing and Avi judging. Yeah. That was when I moved to San Diego. Or excuse me, when I moved to LA. Mm-hmm. Starting to write with other artists, but really it was like the synergy that when I first started recording with these guys, and I was like, yo, we should open a studio together. Yeah. And they were like, okay, like how? Right. You know, I think like Mark was just getting out of his deal with Republic, so he was recording a lot with Mark Basie, E-Basie.
Mark E-Basie.
And I think he was recording a lot more at Bill's place, at Avi's place, Catalyst place.
And this is your team. Your team is Avi, Billions.
Avi, Billion, and Wyatt are my 403 guys. Okay. And then I have my boy Sean and Don that I started my label with.
Okay, cool. And so Mark E-Basie is recording and working with your team.
With these guys at he still works with Billion. Billion has been his producer and engineer for a long time.
Gotcha, yeah.
But at this time, I was just talking shit because I was just like, I was trying to manifest it. I was like, let's open a studio, guys. Yeah. No resources, no money. I mean, like, not really. I mean, I had drive and all that, but like, right. You know, and but they were fucking with me. They were like, yeah, I mean, let's do it. Do you have any equipment? And then literally 2 days later, a friend of mine from the Bay hits me up and he's like, Nicky, I love what you're doing, bro. I've been watching you. He goes, I have a lot of equipment, man, and I'm not really doing shit with it. You want to open a studio together? Literally 2 days later.
Manifest.
Manifest it.
Manifest. Right.
So exactly. So at that point, we opened the studio and that became such a kind of like a place where I could be creative, a place where I could take my time.
Wait, how soon did you open the studio?
Literally 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hard.
Chris came down with the U-Haul. We had all the equipment. Billion and Count already had the location pegged out that was like a kind of super cheap rent.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. And we were open. We've been open for 3 years.
The one I went to.
The one you came to.
Wow.
Yeah. And 403 has been like not only an incredible place to create, but it became a business for me.
Yep.
To be able to make money while I'm putting that back into my artist career. And then through that, 2020 was my most successful year. That was when I started getting the placements on NBA 2K and all these different things. And from that, started to be able to I was consistently dropping. And I had the luxury of doing that because I had a studio.
Because you had a studio.
And so I was dropping all the time. And,
Hell
and
yeah.
2021, I signed the deal with Twitch.
Okay.
And then that was when we set up the studio to kind of just be like, a spot for that.
For everything.
And now we rocking.
So something that you said that's really dope, obviously manifesting. Anything that you want to happen in your career, you have to manifest it. You have to speak it into existence, and not only speak it, but put in the work. Sometimes putting in the work is building great relationships. Right. Sometimes putting in the work is just literally outworking everybody. And just being great at your craft, right? It's 10,000 hours, is what they always say. And it's really 20,000, 30,000 hours at this point, I feel like.
That's how I feel too.
But something I like to jump into is the money, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, we're independent artists, and people are always like, well, how do you make money? Right. So you've mentioned a couple things. You mentioned writing for other people. Yeah. You mentioned your own career. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Twitch. Yeah. You mentioned placements on 2K. Yeah. And I see you're wearing your own merchandise.
Of course.
So break down for me, 2020 is your best year, and then now it's 2022? It's 2022?
Yeah, now it's 2022.
It's 2022. Yeah. So, like, what does a year look like income-wise, if you don't mind me asking? Like, how do those things break down? Because every artist's career is different. Like, some artists crush on merch. Some artists crush on tour. Some artists crush on sponsorships. There's all these different things. Yeah. What does Ill Nikki's life look like when it comes to the income? Because I think it's cool that you can focus. Really, where you put your mind is kind of where you put your money. Yeah. So, like, where does your mind go and where does your money kind of come in?
Yeah. I'm still learning so much. I'm learning from people like you, So I appreciate you and all the things that you've been able to do. Yeah. I take that into consideration, and I'm like, okay, cool. My personal revenue streams have come mostly from the writing side. Okay. So, like, bringing in clients into 403, but not just using the studio as a recording studio, but more of like a production space.
Yep.
So we work with
to
people
craft somebody's sound from
their
scratch.
albums, the stuff that we were able to do alongside Oswin and Chris and everybody.
Yeah.
To where like that's a small thing, but we've been able to work with different artists with their full albums. I mean, we have a client, Nick Elliott, that we're doing 48 songs with this year.
48.
Four songs a month. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's challenging. But it's a great experience because we're learning how to balance, but we're learning how to take things like how you said, where to focus the energy and where to organize your time.
Okay.
And so
break down to me. You said so this is your main revenue stream. Your main revenue stream is writing for other people?
No.
Okay. That's just one of them.
That's one of them.
So break down to me, how does it work? If you don't mind me asking, how does it work to when you write for somebody? What does that look like? Because I think it's a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah,
obviously,
do you want like the actual numbers?
When I think about like writing, I'm like, okay, cool. You wrote for somebody, you got a publishing check, but it's more than that.
Well, no, okay, like that's different. Like if we're working with an artist with a label deal and they come to us with like a budget, that's different. But we work with so many indie artists that we try to work with them as best as we can. So like we'll just do song by song. So like, if you give us this up front, we'll do a song that has full production, full engineering, writing.
Cool.
But it'll have different tiers. So like tier 1 will have the full squad.
Right.
And we'll sit in with you. It'll be a full lockout, and we'll do whether you want to do 1, 2, 3 songs. We'll do full
all different prices.
2-day lockout, and it has all different different prices, but in different things that you might get.
Dope.
And I think the great thing about that is that we're able to sit with you and help you with other things than just like the song. I'll sit with you and help you with the like distribution and how to because so many people are very green to the whole experience in general. So like even the idea of how to upload their song on distribution play.
So it's everything. So basically for 2 days, you come work with your team, Billions maybe, who's producing for Marky Basie. He's got big placements. Exactly. He's got platinum plaques.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's got platinum plaques. Avi, yourself. Yeah. Come in. Boom, this is your package. We're going to write with you. We're going to produce. Exactly. We're going to give you the whole thing. We're going to teach you. We're going to grow with you for this week, for these 3 days, for whatever. That's kind of like a package you do. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's hard. And then on the back end, how does that work?
We'll get a percentage as well. Okay. We've tried actually now moving into like we just opened up an LLC for Studio 403. Yeah. So now getting like a percentage for the collective of 403, and then also that's how that works. We don't have any pub deals or anything like that. Okay. So it's more of just like basis by basis.
This is what we do. So how do you get these clients? Without having a pub deal,
honestly, just like word of mouth, or usually they start with wanting features from me, or from Avi, or from any like it'll start from like a Nicky, like let me get a verse. Gotcha. I'll be like, okay, great, here's a verse, but also like
we do this.
Are you looking for ways to produce your other music? And we do that too. So
super hard.
A lot of the that. So there's that. Yes, of course, merch, but merch really for me is does well at shows. And shows is good too for me. I've always been able to mobilize a crowd to be able to kind of fill a venue. Okay.
How do you get shows?
Just people reach out and I'll maybe get 3 or 4 on the board. And
cool. No booking agent?
No, I actually just signed to a booking agent called Jane Group. So Congrats. I'll be going on. Thank you so much. So I'll be going on tour in the summer. Hard. But that's the first time I've ever actually had anybody that's doing that for me. Hard. Other than I did 5 or 6 dates with Ineffable, but it wasn't the same because I was like kind of a guest. This one is kind of my own tour. Okay, and then break down to me Twitch a little bit. Yeah. You don't got to go into crazy detail, but like, how did Twitch come about, and what did you do for Twitch? Twitch came about. It was an opportunity that when they reached out, it was like they were looking for artists to kind of make music live. Because they were doing just gamers at the time, and so when they did like a few other artists that were basically what they wanted was a lot of more music stuff. Right. But Avi and I really became like more like a variety show. Yeah. And Billion really designed a lot of the stuff that we have on there. Like, and then shout out to my boy KMG. He's do you know Kid Super?
Yeah.
So Kid Super and KMG run a company where they do all these like little digital designs, and they did all my emotes.
Okay.
So me with like little wine glasses and like with the Italian hands, and so at the front of it, like in the beginning of it, we were able to really just get the channel looking really good, and that was where it separated.
That's big. Well, and Kid Super's big.
Absolutely.
Really big. He designs a lot of Russ's clothes.
Stuff, yeah.
And
they liked my song Photograph from 2K.
Got you.
That was kind of.
Got you. Okay.
But it really helped us separate from the people that were just coming on and just having like a screen and them like being like, hey guys, like here's my new song.
Yeah, you stood out.
Not to hate on that stuff. That's amazing. But like we did stand out on that level. And so Twitch kind of doubled down with us and was like, we like this segment, and this segment. And
Keep doing it.
Yeah. So we were able to get paid hourly.
Okay.
And to be able to go on, and we did like 60 hours. We were doing 60 hours a month.
Sheesh.
And so basically being able to go on there and honestly we would do things from like freestyling to old hip hop beats that would like the chat would come in, and like when we would get front page we had 10,000-15,000 people in there.
That's a lot.
So when they started throwing words in, we would freestyle about the words.
like what Harry Mack does.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, people are throwing you words, you're freestyling, and you're getting paid hourly from Twitch, plus you're getting tips from
subscribers
people,
and things like that. Yeah.
Hard. Okay.
And if merch.
So all these things considered, well, we didn't even talk about placements, but you're getting placements. Oh, yeah,
that's another thing.
You're on 2K. Yeah. You're on all these different things. So you have placements, you have merch, you have Twitch, you have your music, you have writing.
Yeah.
What's the main revenue earner in that equation?
Well, Twitch was in 2021.
Twitch was.
For sure. That was the biggest revenue stream,
which people don't even think about.
No, I know.
Artists don't think about it. Right. So if you have these options, and if you reach out to certain companies, you could potentially get a deal that makes you more money than your music, your merchandise, your touring, your placements, everything combined, all from something that people think isn't even an option.
Exactly. That's crazy.
That's wild.
That is wild.
Super, super wild. So shout out to Twitch for
Twitch, and
rocking with y'all.
I'm still really cool with William Morris. Came by the studio the other day, and there's so many things from there that it's like the Web3 shit, like
a lot stepping of stones that happen from that.
Yeah, like
got you.
Like potentially in 2023, going to be doing like an interactive gaming concert.
Got you.
That I'll be part of, and so like a lot of these things are from one thing to the next that I was able to build relationships from those things that lead to the next, which is amazing. Yeah, but yeah, that's so true. And that's like something that has been actually honestly eye-opening for me in the last couple of years.
Yeah, because all the different ways to make bread in the industry, right?
Yeah, facts. Because I was always one of the people that were like, "What the fuck do you make money in this shit?"
Right.
Because
when you're getting 0.004 cents per stream, how are you really gonna make money?
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's a ton of ways.
There is, but even at the side of when like my music was getting and I again like I've never gotten to the point where I'm getting. Like I don't have any platinum records as Ill Nikki. I have a platinum plaque as a songwriter, but I don't have any records.
Which is what record?
It's a song with Meek Mill called Classic.
Hard. Okay.
But from that, there was like I have never had one of myself, so I've never felt what it's like to have kind of the giant moment and the giant leap in my music.
Well, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. So or a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
The show's called Indie Break. Yeah. Do you feel like you've had your big break? Do you feel like you've had a big break as an artist? And what would that moment be like? What's the biggest break you've ever had in your career?
The 2K thing.
Being on 2K.
Yeah, it was huge. It was like
break that down. How did that happen and what did it do for you?
I was living in Oakland. My brother has a gym there. It's called Oakland Fitness Company.
Okay.
And OFC for short. And there was a guy there named Caesar that used to come in all the time, and my brother Mike, my whole family is like this. They play my music around the clock to everybody.
Yeah,
it's like the only music.
Love that. My dad's the same way.
Same way.
Yeah.
So my brother is playing my music, and Caesar goes, "Yo, who is this?" And Mike is like, "Yo, this is Nicky. This is my little brother." And he goes, "Oh, I work at SoundCloud. Like, you should like, whatever. Like, let me help." And then at that point, he actually transitioned into getting a job at United Masters, which was a new company at the time.
Got you.
So
who now is a billion-dollar company.
Huge. And so he had asked me, he had a meeting with me, and he goes, "Nicky, I think I could really help you with United Masters if you take your stuff from CD Baby and bring it to United Masters. I think I can help you." And I said, "Great, fuck it, I don't care. I'm not really doing much right now." So, So I brought some records, and then I did Internet Friends, which was the album that 430 was on. and then 1 year later it got onto NBA 2K.
Hard.
But it resonated, and it's a song, and that one in Photograph on the Coast, the one with Xavier, who's here. Shout out my boy Xavier.
Yes,
is also
sir.
on there. But the 431 on 2020, it just resonated.
Gotcha.
And I was getting more influx of fans that I had like ever gotten ever.
This is all from being on the video game.
Yeah, it just kept coming in, and like this is not maybe nothing big to a lot of larger artists, but going from like not even 100 streams a day to 30,000 streams on one song a day.
Yeah,
was like it shit was coming.
So that song was getting 30,000 streams a day.
Yeah,
from being on 2K.
Yeah.
So Ill Nikki gets on United Masters. After he gets on United Masters, he has a song that's getting 200, 300 streams a day.
No.
Wait, how many streams is it getting?
30,000.
No, it got 30,000, but before that.
No, 30,000 a day.
Before it got on 2K, how many streams was it getting?
Oh, like 100.
So Ill Nikki gets on United Masters. He has a song that's getting 100 streams a day. It gets on 2K because United Masters places it on 2K.
Right.
And it goes from getting 100 streams a day to 30,000 streams a day.
Right.
This is your big break. This is your indie break.
This is my indie break.
This is bringing you fans.
Yeah.
Where do your followers go? Are you gaining followers? Are you gaining streams on your other songs? How does that break down?
I was getting followers on IG, but most of it was Spotify.
All to Spotify, which is the best place.
Yeah, I went from, but also, and I want to expand on this too, is like I was doing so many other things too while this was going on.
Of course.
But at that time, and my music was getting better.
Yeah.
But at this time, like I went from 500 monthly listeners to 200,000 in a year, but I did co-releases with YouTube channels. I had Promoting Sounds.
Right.
Which
is big. Promoting Sounds is big.
Vibes Only, a lot of like the Bangers Only. A lot of the YouTube channels were supporting me as this was going on, so it was kind of like this combination of all of them.
Everything.
Yeah, and to the point where like the kind of the Spotify, really my music, and that's my challenge. My challenge is a lot of it hasn't come to my social following, and I was actually having this conversation with Caitlin Raps.
Yep.
Are you familiar with her? Of
course.
So Caitlin recorded a few songs at my studio with Kato, and they were like this was before they did the Russ record.
Okay.
So she didn't record the verse for Russ there, but she had just done it like 2 days before.
Yeah.
And then she was recording like 3-4 songs with Kato, and she was saying in the studio like, "Damn, I hope Russ picks it." But one of the things that we had talked about in the studio was that how her TikTok followers of like almost 2 million at that time wasn't translating to her Spotify or any of the music things. And I was just like, my stuff is like, I had a bunch of Spotify listeners and a bunch of streams on Spotify, but it wasn't translating to my TikTok and Instagram.
Of course.
Still isn't. And so like my thing is it's where you're putting your focus, but as soon as she broke through with the Russ record,
worked.
Everything happened.
Yeah, of course.
So that was interesting to see.
Yeah.
And it was kind of inspiring to see because
and she's a main artist on that song.
Primary artist on 100%.
Yeah, if you're a primary artist on a song with Russ, you're naturally automatically jumping. Even if you had 0 monthly listeners, you're jumping to 1 million no matter what. It's his hit record.
No,
right
it's
now.
like his biggest record he's had.
Yeah.
And but
completely understandable.
You know what I mean though. But yeah, that was probably the 2K thing was my big indie break. The second big break I had was California.
Okay.
It went viral overseas.
Okay.
And part of that was I co-released it with a YouTube channel called Vibes Only.
Okay.
But it was a song called California. I think it was one of the more marketable songs I've had.
Yeah.
And it was it just did well. It went on like that Issa Rae show. It just did well, and it just went up. It was my first song, well over 1 million
streams on Spotify.
Yeah,
beautiful.
But it went like number one on the viral Spotify charts on like several different countries.
Hard.
And the reason was a anime video.
Hard.
There was this anime video on Instagram that got like 20 million views, and so from that was another big moment that was matching the 2K thing.
All around the same time.
All of a sudden, all these people started coming. But those are probably my two biggest ones.
I tell people all the time that if you're going to do this, the main thing you should be doing is focusing on how you can get your music to new people. If you're just dropping music on your channel to the same 10,000, 20,000, or 500 people that are on your channel, it doesn't matter. You're pitching it to the same people, right? You're just expecting those people to pitch it out and play it everywhere they go. That's not how it works. The more collaborations that you can get in this music industry, the better off your career is going to be. Every single song that you drop should have some sort of collaboration, whether it be a YouTube channel, an Instagram channel, another artist, a singer on the hook, whatever it may be. You need to get in front of a new audience every single time that you drop. And if you're not doing that, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. And that's why your music did well, because you got on Vibes, you got on Bangers Only, you got on Promoting Sounds, you got on 2K, you got all these different things happening for you. And when you can get 10 big premier people talking about you, or even if they're smaller ones, the more people and the more platforms you have talking about you and promoting your music, the further you are going to go. So artists listening to this, if you are going to release a song, the thing you need to think about is who's going to like this song and how can I get in front of those people and how can I get on platforms like that. That's your big indie break, and
I think so.
Loved having you on the show. Let's wrap it up there.
We're doing a record together.
We're going crazy. We're doing it all. My guy's here for a couple days, writing, going nuts.
Hey, honestly, thank you so much. You're a big inspiration to not only me, but the whole squad. We look at you as a template.
Hell yeah.
And I think a lot of my guys look at me as a template, and so it's really nice to have somebody that's inspiring me every day, not only in the creative space, but in the business space too.
Appreciate
it. Big fan of yours, bro.
Yes, sir.
And it's great. Thank you for having me at the spot.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to make some music and get it done, bro. So I appreciate you. Thank you again, bro.
Where can people follow you? Where can people see you? Break down your socials.
Ill Nikki,
anything you got coming up?
Yes, I'm dropping a record called Red Wine with Rob Law, who is the artist signed to my label.
Lovely.
And he's wonderful. And we're dropping this song by first week of June.
Beautiful.
And I'm dropping records all year. But you can find me on Instagram at the Ill Nikki. Type in Ill Nikki anywhere, and we're just gonna keep it moving. I'm going on tour in the summer.
Love it.
And we're doing it.
Hell yeah. Make sure y'all follow Ill Nikki. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. Make sure that you, go to IndieAmplify.com for all of your needs and follow Ill Nikki. Another episode of Indie Break. I will see y'all soon.
Wait, I got an idea before you tune out.
What is it?
I want to play you one-on-one basketball.
Oh, he's going to lose badly.
If I win.
It's going to be terrible.
If I win, I get a feature.
Okay.
But if I lose, what happens?
If you lose... All right, if you win, you get a feature.
If I win, I get a feature.
If you lose... Dang, what's a good one? All right, if you lose, you have to do the Dead Man's Challenge.
What's that?
2 times.
What is that?
A shot of vodka, a shot of whiskey, a shot of Malibu, a shot of tequila, 2 times.
Y'all hear this? Okay, so hold on. So tomorrow we'll play one-on-one.
Play one-on-one.
So what?
11.
Okay, we'll play one-on-one to 11.
One-on-one to 11.
If you win, I get a feature.
If you win,
no, excuse me. If I win, I get a feature from you.
Exactly.
And if you win, I got to do the Dead Man's Challenge.
Dead Man's Challenge.
And what's the Dead Man's Challenge?
Shot of vodka, shot of whiskey, shot of tequila.
Oh my God.
What's the other one? Oh, shot of rum. Yeah.
All right.
Back to back. 2 times. All right, deal.
Let's get it.
You heard it here first. We'll see you on the next episode of Indie Break. It's been real. Ill Nikki, Futuristic, IndieAmplify. Sheesh!
Thank you so much. Here's the situation. I've challenged Futuristic to a game of one-on-one. If I win, I get a feature from him. If he wins, I gotta drink 8 shots of Malibu rum. I might be in trouble. No mercy. No mercy. You are a champion today. You turn futuristic in past tense.
Round 1. Fight! Finish him!
So, Dead Man's Challenge. That is 4 different shots of different types of alcohol. So today we have the Honey Jack, very smooth. We have the Apple Ciroc, also very smooth. We have the Gin, not so smooth. We have the Captain Morgan, all right?
Oh, Christ.
You're almost there.
Big nuts. I let him hang.
Let's go in the pool.
Thank you for having us, bro. We win!
Check on him because I'm his friend. Yo, Nick, you good, brother? Oh.
Fatality.
Okay.